Well, we've been treated to what has been a brilliant finish here with PACAYA coming through to win. But let's introduce the guys that are on the podium in the Golden Horseshoe in front of the grandstand at Hollywoodbets Greyville. Lance Whiteford, Vice Chairperson of Gold Circle Racing Club and a Director of Gold Circle. Lance, thanks for taking up the time and being with us today. And then to my immediate right is Stephen Karim. He's the Head of Racing Sponsorship and Customer Liaison of World Sports Betting. And Stephen is no stranger to the horse racing game, and many people know him. Very proactive and now joining WSB. Stephen, thank you, and we'll have a chat after the presentation about WSB's involvement in the race. But we'll do the interviews and the presentation alongside each interview. So first up, I think we'll have the winning jockey, who is Richard Fourie. Richard, come to yet another success for you this season. It's a Group 2, and what a win from your racehorse. What a win, what a turn of foot.
Yeah, look, I didn't think the speed was up that fast, and pulled him out a little bit early. Sort of hit a flat spot, but he couldn't get comfortable, you know, so I think we might have had him a little bit underdone, but that's all good things because I think he's lining up nicely for the Hollywoodbets Durban July. So that's the plan eventually, but great win nevertheless today.
Talking about the Hollywoodbets Durban July, you need a horse that's had an ideal prep, a good prep coming to the race, and he just fits that profile, doesn't he?
Most definitely. I've always said it's a 4-year-old carrying a lightweight, you know, and they're stronger, but I think this year's going to be a bit tricky. There's a couple of good 3-year-olds around that can stay just as good as the old horses and quicken probably better. So the race is open. I still feel that Snake Team has the better hand this year around, and I'm going to say a little bit less now, but I'm looking forward to it. But this horse today won a great race, so thank you to the owners, everybody involved, to the sponsors of the race, thank you so much, and to my sponsors at Winning Form.
Well, we want you to tell us a bit more, because you know that you have racing fans all over the country that are listening into this interview. There is an anti-post betting market for the Hollywoodbets Durban July. Have you decided which horse you're going to be riding?
Not quite. I'll leave that till the last moment.
So you just keep us wondering, but you have options, don't you?
Yes, I'm very fortunate to have those options, and always very grateful for them.
Well, you've had a wonderful season with a lot of feature race winners. You can add another one to your mantle. Well done to the winning jockey, who is Richard Fourie. Congratulations to you, Richard. Next up, let's have, thank you, Richard. You're an absolute gentleman. You're an absolute star. Next up, let's have Justin Snade. Welcome, Justin, to KZN. Well, you've rolled out the red carpet and you've strolled in. You've strolled in because I've heard your interviews down in Cape Town that you've decided to pick your spots this season, unlike other seasons gone by where you come with truckloads of horses, but you're picking your spots this season, and that's the plan that you have.
Yeah, look, I found it very hard sometimes prepping horses for some of the races. There's a rule here that you can't gallop a horse if it's been here before, and I find that very hard. I like to, I know who I'm taking on, the guys from Joburg, Sean Terry, Mike de Kock. I know they're coming super fit, and I just felt like I was missing a beat. So the idea was to rather delay and not fight about gallops and stuff, and come later, get them fit as I can in Cape Town and bring them up. But it's not easy, Dees. There's no exact science. It's very hard. Traveling horses is becoming hard and hard in South Africa. And it's a lot of work, I promise you. Kudos to every trainer that visits, whether it's a Durban trainer coming to Cape Town this season, Cape Town trainers going to Joburg to Cape Town. It's very hard, and kudos to the guys. It's a lot of work, I can assure you. And I tell you what makes it worthwhile is when I arrive here in Natal, and the locals, the punters, the following that you guys have here in Natal is just second to none. And I just want to thank the racing public here in Durban for the kindness that they show me every time I come here. It really is it lifts me up, and I just feel like I'm partially home. So to the local guys, thanks so much. I really appreciate it, and all the kind words. To all the syndicate here, the Goodwood's Duke of Richmond syndicate. It's an amazing bunch of people put together by Gaynor. and just very proud to train for them. There's some, I probably will be going to Goodwood Racing, so winning this race certainly helps when I arrive there. So to the Duke of Richmond, thank you so much, and all your partners. Funny enough, Nick's wife Celeste is involved here, so she may have one up on Nick on one-way traffic here. So well done to her and to Drakenstein on breeding what is a beautiful horse. And to the public, I've come here for one idea, and that's the Hollywood Durban July, and that's what I want to do the best in trying to win it. So everything is aimed towards that, and I think follow the yard. We've got a very small string this year, but certainly a powerful one.
This horse, I'll have to touch on how he's dramatically shortened for the Hollywoodbets Durban July amongst the racing public. That's the anti-post betting market. And after this performance, I expect him to shorten even further. But you'll be very happy with the way he's progressing throughout the season.
I think very importantly, I was a bit annoyed in the beginning in Cape Town. I just didn't feel like the message was getting out there, what we had in stock and what our plans were with certain horses. I was sitting there and I was like, someone interview me so you could put the public in the right direction. Eventually we got the Gallop, got the guys there and said, you know, watch this horse Gallop. And I think everyone that is on social media would have seen PACAYA's Gallop and the jockey afterwards saying, this is the horse you've got to beat in the July. I don't think it's that clear cut, but nice for the punter when we came here to know that this is the horse to follow, and he duly obliged. But it's a very open race. I think it's going to be very hard. It's going to come down to jockeyship and draws.
Do we have a representative for the syndicate, which is the Duke of Richmond syndicate?
Sadly not.
Okay. I see Nick's on course representing the missus, but he's not going to do that. So maybe you can take both, Justin. That's the winning trainer, Justin Snate. And of course, for the winning syndicate, the Duke of Richmond syndicate as well. That's a lovely memento. And before we close off this winning presentation, I mentioned that I got the director of Gold Circle and Gold Circle Racing Club, who's Mr. Lance Whiteford here, vice chairperson of that racing club. And of course, without sponsorship in racing is much poorer around the country, and WSB are putting their name all over the country in every racing center. Yesterday, unfortunately, in KwaZulu-Natal, the race meeting had to be abandoned, but they were heavily involved there as well. Last weekend, we saw them at Hollywoodbets Greyville. Of course, they got their champion season in the Highveld. And the gentleman who is now known as the head of racing sponsorship and the customer liaison for World Sports Betting is my good friend, Stephen Karim. Stephen, firstly, on behalf of racing throughout the country, not just here in KZN, we really thank you for your involvement and your sponsorship of a game that we all dearly love.
It's a great pleasure, Dee, and thank you for Gold Circle, and thank you to Gold Circle for having us. It's been a pleasure being involved in sponsorship in KZN.
This race is a Group 2. It's normally a nice pointer to the big race at the beginning of July. So it's really a nice Group 2 to put your name behind.
So that is the thing. Okay, this is the step into the Hollywoodbets Durban July, and there were some good performances today.
It's a big team behind World Sports Betting, of course, headed by the man at the helm of the ship, who is Warren Tennis. So to yourself, to Warren, to the entire team at World Sports Betting, all the best for sponsoring and supporting horse racing. And we thank you for your sponsorship.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
That is Stephen Karim. Lance, thank you so much for coming down as well. And that concludes our presentation for the WSB 1900, and it's worn by a very popular horse in the Hollywoodbets Durban July anti-post betting market, and that's horse number 4, PACAYA.